Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, part 2 of the Overlord Team World Tour. First video, we went and rolled through all of Conquest with ease, and now we're going to be taking on the first fights of Old Tempered Edge. So we're going to go through the Earth, Space, Light, Wind, and Water stages as best we can with the full Overlord team. And then part 2 will be the Space, Earth, Dark, and Fire, and then we will end on the Storm Dragon Veldora stage, because that stage just takes a long time to do, especially with the green team. So let's not waste any team. We know what we're having to do here, and we're just going to run with it. If the stages nerf greens, sucks, oh well. But let's see how well this team can clear all of the old, difficult content. Which I think it's going to be just fine, unless the stage like heavily nerfs greens and nerfs crits, which the Veldora stage definitely does, so we may or may not be able to use Ainz's actual buff. But that's a pretty good hand here, and honestly, with Shoutir being the AoE, we might be better off served actually using her instead to take out both these guys at the same time. So we're going to run it like this. Hopefully we get a good hand next turn to change into Shoutir, or no Shoutir orbs. You know, that also, I guess, works. It's just a 3-3 spread, huh? Let's get rid of these blues. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the Nabe orbs. No, you know what? Let's do something smarter. Let's just take Nabe out for Ainz, and then send the Ainz orbs. And then next turn, hopefully we can get some orb changing in here. I mean, technically we can. Technically we can. The greens are nerfed for 2 more turns, though, so is it really useful? Is it a good idea for us to go ahead and orb change and nerf greens when we don't have Isis? Probably not. Like, we would be able to use both Despair buffs from Albedo and Ainz, but at the same time, is like, we don't have the points for that quite yet, because we haven't been able to send any buffed greens. And I'm also sending orbs with Shizu, who has type disadvantage, so why am I doing that? No wonder she's missing half her health. Okay. The next turn, yeah, the greens will no longer be nerfed, so let's just get you out of here, not have you any further in harm's way. We'll send the blue orbs and make our life just a little bit easier for Nabe next turn. This might actually get Shoutir's ult. Okay, not quite. But we only need 1 orb change here, which is nice. So we can go ahead and use both the Despair skills, so the ones that matter at least, for Gauge. And then we'll bring Nabe in to convert that hand. For Albedo? Yeah, Albedo. Alright, convert. Boom, this will get us... I mean, it won't get us a lot, but it'll definitely help us out. Let's go ahead and send these. It gets us a double stack. Perfect. And they're going to ult. Benimaru is an AoE, and then Soe is a single target. Soe also does bind people in, which is... It's a good thing that we have our orb changer up front. Not a good thing that we have 3 oranges. Okay, that didn't hurt that much, so thank God. Shoutir does have an ult. Alright, there's a single target hit. Oh, some Despair. Awesome. Yeah, there's not much we can do right there, huh? Let's I actually don't think we can do anything about this. Let's just keep going. So we'll put another stack on. I mean, is it even worth it to ult with Shoutir? Am I just gonna burn the oranges out? I think we should burn the oranges and just attempt to get a better hand for the orb change next turn when I think we are binded. Okay, she's stunned, so fine. Alright, what did that nerf? I can't see because of all these other buffs. Crit resistance, 50%. Alright. 7 turns for this team is not great. Is definitely not great. So, let's go ahead and... Ooh, actually... Well, we can orb change, we can despair. And then we can swap Nabe out for a blue, but that doesn't really do anything for us. I can't swap Shalltear out because she's locked in. Man. I think I'm just going to attempt to kill Soe here. And we'll just try and take him out. So we've got, we'll send 6, right? Even though 2 of the orbs are not doing anything here. And then we'll send the single target on Ions and follow up. And maybe this is enough? They don't have that much health. Okay, yeah. 115k, goodbye. Nabe does 23. Not great, but at least she crit. Alright, so he's almost dead. So we can kill him with the ult from Shalltear this turn. 8 turns in. Definitely not a great showing, but it did work. So let's go ahead and ult buff and lower his defense. And then we'll send this and he should die. Alright, 54k. Wonderful. Let's move on to the next Tempered Edge stage. Alright, next up is Tempered Edge Milim for the original half anniversary in 2022. Definitely not a bad stage, it's just horribly weak. But we do have a single target nuker, or at least... Well, no, she's not. She's an AoE. Never mind, I lied. We do have a space unit who can give extra damage for us. Let's go ahead and bring her in for Nabe, and we'll send these oranges, and we'll try and get a good hand of greens next turn. Maybe. Almost. Almost, but not quite. So, I can't remember if she nerfs anything on this stage. I know she has a lot of quote-unquote defense to begin with. Alright, she lowers Shizu's attack, which is fine. But, okay, she hasn't nerfed anything yet. This is a good hand, because we can use Nabe to convert it out. We're going to take Shalltear out of here, and then we'll do the orb change, boom. And then we can get the protection gauge going with Ainz. So this works out pretty well. Just unfortunate that we don't have any orbs for Albedo, at least not that I can tell. No, they're all Shizu orbs. Okay, well, it is what it is. We'll use Rimuru to reset the Despair. Maybe I could have played that a little better. Oh well. We'll send this, guarding. She has a lot of magic and physical resistance until turn, I think, 5? And then turn 11. Like, they're weird turns where you're supposed to quote-unquote nuke. Alright, we can make this work. So... yeah, let's just get Shizu out of here. She's not going to do much right now. Okay. So we will do the blue orb change. We'll do the double stack of Despair. And then we will reset... and then we'll use the orb change for Nabe, get another full hand of green, plus now they're both protection gauge and alt gauge buffed. And we're going to do some serious damage, which I like. Are we able to stun her for any? We are not able to stun. Okay, so I think most of these Tempered Edge stages you cannot stun, just straight up. So Albedo's actual stun strike will mean jack crap for a lot of these fights, which is one of the hard non-selling points for her, where, you know, a lot of these early stages, you can stun Master Conquest, great, but that's only because they got rid of that higher difficulty one. As soon as you step into Tempered Edge, until you get to, like... well, actually, you can't even stun Veldora without Lumi. Can we stun Clayman? I don't know. We'll find out in, like, 2 videos or something. Alright, she's lowered our attack on Ainz, which is unfortunate, but not a huge detriment at the end of the day. So, let's do the blue orb change again, another stack of Despair. We'll reset Nabe again, and we'll convert those oranges. We'll get another full hand, and I think by then... okay, no, actually, we can probably nuke her next turn. So she lowers her defenses on turn 6, which makes it actually much easier for us, because we can definitely take her out with the amount of buffs we're going to have with 300 points saved up. So that works out very, very well. Let's swap the ult away. And then, unless this happens to kill already, which I don't think it will, but potentially, she's got all that defense still. No, okay, we're fine. But she doesn't have enough health to tank an Ainz ult, even if it's not an EX ult. Perfect. I mean, that's about as good as you can get. The weakness strike from Shizu will not matter, because Ainz does not have type advantage, but we will still get the ult resistance down, so let's use the Shoutir buff, we'll use half of the Shizu buff, and we'll use the Ainz buff. And we can't stun, so there's no point in bringing you in. We'll put another stack of Despair on for the extra alt resistance down, I guess. And then Ainz can go ahead and mop the floor after this last stack of Rimuru for funzy onesies. Alright, we were close to an EX alt. Again, not that it really matters. So Ainz does 351. Alright, cool. Get out of here, Milim. We'll see you later. Moving on. Okay, next up is the Light Tempered Edge, and this stage will be an absolute joke because, 1, we have 2 dark units. 2, we have Rimuru giving an extra 60% damage buff to everybody on this team. So this will not be difficult by any means. So let's bring Ainz in for Nabe. We've got 4 orbs for him. Shinsha does heal, so we're better off just hitting Xion and... yeah, oh. Well, okay, never mind. What am I talking about? No, what stage am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Gazzle. I got him flipped around. Disregard everything I just said the last, 2 minutes or something. We do not have type advantage. Except with Nabe, who's a free-to-play unit. I don't know what I'm talking about today. Okay, still can't do anything. Let's just go ahead and send the Shoutir orbs. Let's give her a little bit of a buff. And then hopefully we get a nice hand of greens. Hopefully this amounts to something. We're deleting, multiple orbs that we can't use. Alright, what do we get? What do we get? We can work with that. We can work with that, even though 3 or 4 of them are Shizus. Well, I mean, it could be worse, right? So, orb change, and Despair for the protection gauge. Because I don't really care about rushing Shoutir's ult. We haven't used that skill at all, I don't think, the entire time. We'll send Nabe last. Why not? She's got weak point. Not super weak point. Oh, it is super weak point. Why are we using a physical light 2.0 team in here, then? Man, what were they doing back then? So many questions that I just realized have never been asked. I know one major question still remains from very beginning of the game, and that is, who the fuck uses an Earth Spear? Nobody uses an Earth Spear. Still, to this day, that Earth Tempered Edge stage was the very first Tempered Edge that ever came out, and they don't even do Tempered Edge stages anymore. And it gave an Earth Spear as its first time clear reward at the lowest difficulty. That game mode is defunct, and nobody can use that weapon. Oh, man. Okay, well, thanks for the oranges, guys. I mean, Shoutir could AoE and kill Xion. I mean, that's perfectly possible. Let's just... yeah, let's just do that, and then burn out the oranges, and we'll just attempt to get her out of the way. Oh, we can reset as well, since we use that big time buff. Give ourselves a little bit extra damage for Shoutir. See if she can actually make up for her shortcomings. 48k. I mean, cool, sure, whatever. At least she killed. And now we're just left with poor little Shinsha, who's going to AoE for 1500 damage. Oh, but it's okay. Our Despair did 384. Did you guys see that? You see that massive Despair damage? 384? Damn, they were cooking. They were cooking with this team. Holy shit. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and use Shizu to swap them out. Shoutir, you have done your job. Thank you very much for annihilating a character. And now we will pass the reins over to Big Daddy Ainz. I wonder if we can actually get his EX ult if we use the Albedo Despair as well. Because that's the extra 50% protection gauge. And we already have over enough for an ult. And it is. Alright, cool. We can EX ult for the first time in this video with Bone Daddy Ainz against that poor little Shinsha. That sounds really bad. I should have thought a little bit more about that comment. Oh, but she double healed. It's okay. She'll tank it better, I guess. We still can't stun her, though. Yeah, we still can't stun her, so good job, Albedo. I'm proud of you. I'm super uber duper proud of you. We'll take out Nabe. Actually, you know what? Let's ult with Nabe first, just to see how much she does. This is science. Alright. And then we'll bring Shizu in. Again, Actually, no. Actually, this will help Nabe because she is actually weak to. She does actually get weakness strike. Okay, is Nabe going to be able to kill with guaranteed crit, the alt damage, the alt resistance down, the weakness strike, and the despair? I have reservations, but I mean, we could. Let's just make a full hand for funsy onesies. Let's do all this. More despair, full hand of greens. Does it matter? No. How much health do you have? Off topic. 124. Can a quote-unquote full buffed Nabe do 124,000 damage before Ainz cleans it up? She can. Wow, okay. Look at that. We got an EX alt, but we didn't use the EX alt. Is that a misplay on my part, or is that the new meta of Nabe being the primary nuker? You decide. Alright, next up is one of my least favorite stages for one of my least favorite metas to ever come out. The Wind 2.0 meta with Diablo and Gabiru. We did have a few good units come out of that meta, being free-to-play Geld and Trainee, but overall as a whole, I personally did not enjoy that meta. But I do personally enjoy starting hands that look like this, because it allows us to get off on a very good start, on a very good foot. We have water characters, which is great for our Shizu. So we will just go ahead and take Nabe out, and we have 3 orbs of Shizu, so that's awesome. Let's send her last. So we should also have super weak point here, or are they against physical? Okay, they want a physical hitter. Doesn't really matter, though. They don't have a lot of health. It's just they're annoying. They're much tankier than they should be, to be perfectly honest with you. Alright. I can deal with 4 blues. So, Shoutir, you go away. And then we'll bring you in to change 2 of those. And then we'll use a Stack of Despair. And then we'll reset. And then we'll use the other orb change to take care of those other 2 blues. And we'll be eating pretty good. And we have a lot of Ainz orbs, which works. We only have Ainz and Shizu. Actually, that works out very well. Alright, so we will continue to smack down Diablo. He is the one that hits very hard. Geld has like a very weak AoE. He doesn't really give himself any damage buffs, but Diablo on turn 5 and then in turn 6, he gets kind of strong. And he's still pretty strong right there. I mean, he triple shot Shizu there, and she's missing a decent chunk of HP. And, gotta remember, these are my units, right? They're not fresh off the boat kind of units that I just, started playing 2 weeks ago and I managed to get everyone because I have stupid luck. That's not what we're doing here. Let's, let's go ahead and reset the orb change for Nabe, use her orb change, and then we'll get her out for Albedo and use her Despair skill, get us that extra alt gauge. Alright, boom. And now we're looking pretty good. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will probably take Diablo down to half HP or something. And then we'll get a double stack of Rimuru with the Shizu trait as well. So that'll be really nice. And yeah, there we go, half HP. Almost the EX alt for these 2. Let's try and get it, because it's only going into turn 4. So we're way ahead of schedule. So that's really nice. Perfect. And yeah, we're gonna... Wow. We only get Shizu and Ainz orbs. The game wants us to do the EX nuke. So we didn't EX nuke last time. Doesn't matter, we're gonna do it this time. So let's do that. We don't even need to use the Shizu or the Albedo buff, but we're going to anyways, because why not? Put some more Despair on them. We're just gonna make them stare at us as we slowly build up our power to the point we're going to completely and utterly annihilate them with 2 EX alts. And it's going to feel great. It's going to be great. Alright. One more stack, just to reset the orb changes again. And I kind of don't want you to die. I don't think you're going to die, but I'm going to send these on Geld. Let's spread the love a little bit and lower him down just a tad bit. I think he does have more health than Diablo. And he has defense, right? They both have defense, but Geld, I think, has more. Alright, that was 4 hits right there. But he is Diablo is no Space Millum, alright? This is no Conquest Millum we're talking about here. Alright, so we only have 250 points, but again, that is enough. Oh, and by the way, you still can't stun them. So, good job, Albedo. You contributed, though. We've used Despair, so it's not like she's completely useless, but she's kind of useless. But Alt, Synergy, or no, not the Weakness Strike, and Alt Resistance down. Let's do the Guaranteed Crits, and then the Magic buff for Ainz. The EX alts are coming in hot. And Shizu will do some pretty good damage here. And then Ainz will do good damage, right? Because he's not type advantage. So Shizu, Ainz, and then they're not going to live, but we'll send some follow-up orbs just for funsies. Shizu, 666, alright. And 601. That is because Ainz has that personal 70% magic buff. So we made up for, well, almost made up for the not having type advantage and that extra weakness strike by just having that 70% magic buff. So, pretty good showing. Let's move on to the final section of this video. Alright, the final event of this video, we are going against the Water Tempered Edge with Fire Shuna, who does have a few things going for her. She's got a lot of crit resistance that's permanent, and then she has defense for 7 turns. So this is very much built for a stacking team, except she nerfs green orbs on her turn 1. So that's not great. We're meant to be using a blue team here. And also you can see that she's nerfed the attack of our front line, which thankfully Ainz is right here. But since she has that massive crit resistance, it kind of negates our use of his skill, because there's not a way that we can use the crit and have it go away but still have the magic buff. Like, that's not how that works. So we may have to nuke a little bit underpowered here, if anything. Alright, and the green nerf should come in. We don't have enough points to do anything. Oh, the green nerf doesn't come in, okay. Let's go ahead and just, let's get the buffs started. And at least we'll get some points on these few green orbs that we're sending. And then I think it's gonna come to a head next turn. And also, yeah, she's super attack lowered, so she doesn't do peanuts for damage right here. Alright, okay, more blues. The game wants me to run a blue team, but does not want to let me run a blue team. Or I'm not running a blue team. Alright, so there's the debuff on greens for 5 turns. So we're going to have to either get very, very, very lucky with not green orbs, or just try and play through it using the despair buffs from Albedo and Ainz, which looks like that's what we're going to have to do here. Alright, so I did leave Ainz up front. We did get re-attack nerf now, so now he's not going to do that much damage either. 30%. 30% actually does feel like a lot more significant than some other attack buffs that we would put on for more. It kind of is odd how that works out, but I do feel that attack nerf here more than I feel like a 50% attack buff in other places. So we've used the 2 stacks of despair, so we are still getting 50% protection gauge and 50% alt gauge, but the green orbs are nerfed, I think, by 80? Or is it 50? It's 80. So we're technically only down by 30% on protection and alt. We are down by 80% on damage, and there's nothing we can do about that. But since we've used 2 stacks of Rimuru, we're at 120% point gain. So we're still going to get a good amount of points here. It's just not as much as we would get. And we, alongside the attack nerf, now we really don't do damage on green orbs because of that nerf and then the attack nerf. Alright, I mean, we're getting lucky on blues. I mean, we could orb change into greens again. Like, very much a possibility, but I think we're just going to send this to get maximum gauge and then pray that we get some, like, natural greens next turn, which we're getting at least 1. So, okay. I see. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. We have to go to turn 8 before her defense lowers. Unfortunately, just the greens aren't giving us that much gauge increase, but looks like Albedo can go away. Let's go ahead and use another stack of everything. We'll bring Nabe back in. And one more thing. You can't stun. Sorry, Albedo. Am I going to point that out every single stage? Yes. Why? Because it is relevant. How often you can use Albedo in some of the earlier game content. Why bring a stun unit if you can't stun? I don't know, guys. Why would you do that? All right, we got a lot of points. We actually got a decent amount of gauge. Alt gauge, we're looking okay. We still have one more turn, actually, to try and get an Ainz EX alt. And we might... No, we're not going to get it because of that debuff. If we go past turn 8, she starts to give herself a lot of buffs, but I still think we can manage it if we go to like turn 9. Turn 10 might be a little scary, but I think it'll still be okay. Alright, so Nabe is doing her job. One more turn of the green debuff, fine, it is what it is. We'll bring Albedo back in for her skill after we reset her. Not that it really matters. Like, this team, like, a feather in its cap, you're never running out of points with this team, as long as you're playing it correctly. Like, there's just no way you're gonna run out of points. Alright, so very close. So very close to an EX alt, so very close to another Protector Rimuru. But again, we can go one more turn. The attack debuff is going to wear off on Ainz on this following turn. The greens will no longer be nerfed, and we're just going to have to push to turn 9 probably before we can reliably kill her. Because I do want the EX alt, I do want another alt to follow up because of that crit resistance. So we're going to miss the guaranteed crits and the 70% magic buff on Ainz because we just can't do it. Alright. So, let's do the alt swap, boom, and then we can, thankfully we have Nabe here. I mean, I guess we can use this again, why not? And then we'll bring Nabe in. And boom. We don't have another protector, but again, like, we have a surplus of points and we're gonna make everything back, even if we send skill costs that are a little bit higher than normal. So EX alt plus almost another EX alt for Shizu. That's kind of unfortunate, but I think this will guarantee that we kill. Honestly, this Shuna doesn't have the most HP. It is still a relatively early Tempered Edge stage, so we'll check it out. Okay, so yeah, she's got almost killed Shizu there. Okay, how much health does she have? She has 239k. I think we can reliably do that amount of damage. Reliably. Even without the guaranteed crits. So let's do the Shoutir buff, let's do a Despair stack, let's do the Weakness Strike and the Alt Resistance down, which doesn't matter. We'll put another stack of Despair on. And then we will attempt to take her out with just, I guess, raw power and 2 more stacks of Rimuru. So, I think Ainz will still do over 200,000 with his EX ult. I think that's a given. But we are, missing a heavy component to his kit. Yeah, 272. Okay, but we would have done like 450k or something like that between the crit and his magic buff. So, played it safe for nothing. But there we go. That is part 2 of the World Tour for the Overlord team. 5 stages of the old Tempered Edges cleared and taken care of. Nobody died. Shizu got a little close there. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.